Real men don't take shits. Real men hold that shit in. Real men don't fart. This alpha male TikToker is afraid to poop. The alpha male, okay. So if you're new to alpha males, the concept is, overly masculine, saying, oh, you can't do this because, that's perceived as feminine, or you can't do that because that's not as manly. Men can't clean, men shouldn't cook, men shouldn't do girly things or whatever. So basically that's what an alpha male is. So, but this alpha male TikToker is afraid to take a shit, pretty much. So yeah, let's get into it, I guess. I don't know.
Weak men run to the bathroom every 15-20 minutes. I get a little nervous. I got to go take a crap. There is no scenario in any way, shape, or form that your woman should be driving you around. Don't tell me that you're drunk.
When I ask you what makes a strong man, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I'll give you a second, really think about it. Okay, your time's up. Don't worry, I don't need to actually hear you because I know it's wrong. Because I know, in my heart, that the true measure of a man is whether or not he gets all of his life advice and rules on being a man in the modern world from a guy on TikTok. If some other dude isn't telling you what to do 24/7, are you really a man? Ladies and gentlemen, I am
How are you gonna listen to another grown-ass man speak as a grown-ass man? Like, really, come on, guys.
Happy to announce with like 92% certainty that the existence of internet alpha males is funny again. Now I say this because these dorks have been around forever, but for the longest time it was just channels like Alpha M who, while I don't think they
Andrew Tate. Who remembers Andrew Tate? That was people
trying to do anything harmful. They were just constantly giving out the worst, most dude bro advice possible, and it didn't take long for 99% of the population to not take anything that they said seriously. So it became like an inside joke, and it was just funny. But then, through a series of events, we found ourselves in like the Andrew Tate manosphere era, where suddenly these dudes were now saying things that were like 10 times more stupid and 10 times more dangerous, which again would probably not have been that big of a deal if nobody was taking them seriously still, but the kicker was that people were now taking them 10 times more seriously. So we just ended up with like 2 years of the most batshit backwards misogynistic people being like the top influencers of the world. But then, those 2 years passed. The 14-year-olds who made up their audience got a little bit more frontal lobe development and realized, oh, this is kind of stupid. They all seemed to lose their following overnight.
That's Charlie Kirk. Oh my god.
Now Andrew Tate's out there like fucking taking fights with TikTokers and getting his shit rocked because, I don't know, he's probably broke. Anyways, the moral of the story is that I feel like the existence of these losers is funny again, because now when we have a TikTok alpha male saying stuff like, if you take a shit in public, you're a vulnerable beta, you don't have to worry about millions of people taking it seriously. Yeah, so allow me to introduce you to a TikToker named
Real men don't take shits. Real men hold that shit in. Real men don't fart. We clench our cheeks. That's what real men do. Real men.
Rafa Conde, who makes videos that like 3 or 4 years ago probably would have made him enough money to buy a fleet of Bugattis, but these days just makes him look silly. So I've gathered a collection of his TikToks today, and we're going to start with the one that introduced me to this man, which will hopefully, at least for your sake, change your opinion on pooping. Please subscribe.
Weak men run to the bathroom every 15-20 minutes. I get a little nervous. I got to go take a crap.
Okay, I don't do that. I may do it like twice a day, but I don't run to the bathroom 15-20 minutes a day. What?
Take a piss. And when you walk into a public restroom and you see a guy taking a crap, that's embarrassing. I got to tell you, this is the most vulnerable position a man is ever going to be in. Taking a crap. Anyone can open the door, stab you in the neck with a knife. Think about that for a moment.
All right, so like I said, this is the video that introduced me to Rafa. Apologies for the shitty quality. This is the only version of the video I could find. I guess he deleted the original because he realized this is just too good of advice to be giving out for free. But personally, I have some issues with this claim for a lot of reasons. First off, if you're out taking a shit in public and you're thinking about somebody breaking down the door and stabbing you in the neck, I think you've got some shit you need to work out in your free time. That's not a normal thought to have. Also, counter argument, I disagree that this is the most vulnerable position a man can be.
I have stomach issues, because there are people with stomach issues who can't read controls, who have to go to the bathroom. It's more embarrassing if you shit on yourself than taking a shit in like a public restroom. So yeah.
I can think of many far more vulnerable positions. At least sitting on a toilet, you've got your eyes in front of you. I'd imagine something like face down, ass up.
I don't know, if you're in the shower, you're pretty vulnerable. So yeah.
Up is far more vulnerable. Also, the idea that needing to piss makes you a weak man. Yeah, these guys need serious help.
You're a weak man if you let your woman drive you around. There is no scenario in any way, shape, or form where if you are a capable man, a man with the ability to drive, that your woman should be driving you around. Don't tell me you're tired. Don't tell me that you're drunk.
You heard it here first, folks. Rafa told you how it is. You might as well just be a
Oh, so get a DUI and kill her in the process. Okay, guys. If you're drunk, you better not let her drive. You better not let her drive. You better get behind that wheel. And even if you crash, even if you fucking crash, you're still a man at the end of the day.
You're still a man.
Woman, if you don't want to drive home drunk and kill your family or another family on the road. Are you really even a leader or a protector if you don't tell your stupid wife to give you the keys so you can go drive off a bridge? I mean, seriously, can these guys just not hear themselves? Saying that men need to be protectors and leaders of their family, while at the same time telling them that being drunk is not an excuse to not want to drive your family around, might be the dumbest shit I've ever heard a human being say.
You have to consult with your wife about simple things in life. There's a big problem. If you have to consult your wife about certain business decisions, about certain things that you're going to do to better yourself, there's also a problem there. Your wife should be supporting you to become the best version of yourself, to be the best leader possible. And if she does not back that, there is a freaking problem.
I swear to God, all these fucking losers are just chasing the high of being picked as like the kickball team captain in 3rd grade. They're always talking about being leaders, being this, being that. Dude, you have a fucking podcast and a TikTok channel. Like, what are you talking about? What are you leading? Telling men that if they talk to their wife about anything that they're weak losers and they're bad leaders. Hey, honey, I'm going to buy a new house, and if you say no, we're getting a divorce. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I'm usually in the front of the plane. I'm usually in the first row. I get in first and I get the hell out first. I'm in and out. I'm moving, right? Number one reason, I get to see everybody walk in, and I get to evaluate who's who and what's what. Number two, I get to be quick to that doorway, right? With the exit door. I am in a position of tactical advantage. A lot of people will say, well, usually in the rear.
That's like being first in line when taking a piss. Like in front of the bathroom, so I can evaluate who's taking a piss right after me. Or who's gonna drop a steamy pile of shit right after me. I'm evaluating, like I'm peeking through the crack of the stall, evaluating, like who's taking a shit right after me. Like, what? Like,
I'm like peeking through, like, okay. I'm seeing right now, but I see who's coming next, so I'm evaluating.
Right?
Of the plane, you have an overview of the plane. And I say, no, I need to be as close to a area of protection as possible.
I really wish I could know if these guys are like taking themselves seriously, or if they're just saying stuff like this so they can sell a course and sell a life.
I just like sitting next to the window. I like looking outside. Like, I like looking at the clouds and shit.
Style. Because what the fuck do you mean you're looking for a tactical advantage on a plane? My brother in Christ, if somebody walks onto a plane with a gun or a bomb, I don't think any sort of tactical advantage is going to do much for you.
Like the Burger King guy.
What do you plan on doing? Mark Wahlberging it? Like, seriously, come on, dude.
When you see men take their shoes off and cover themselves up in a plane, I want to grab that guy by the neck and ask him what would happen if there is an incident or a situation inside that plane, because things go down. It's a sad statement when you realize that in that plane, maybe a handful of guys would step up out of the 150 that are there. And that is a reflection of what we have in our world right now.
Rafa, you know, I get it. I too like to insert myself into fantasy scenarios that I will never, ever in my entire life ever experience, and pretend that I would be braver than every other man that could ever exist because I'm just that good of a guy. Like, come on, dude. This is sad. Like, if anything, this has made you sound less like the badass you wanted to, and have instead just made it sound like you're the guy we need to be looking for when we board a plane. You just admitted to wanting to grab a guy by his neck because he's getting comfortable on a flight.
This world doesn't need more soft, agreeable men. It needs men who are dangerous, but at the same time, disciplined. Men who can protect and provide, who understand that being a man is not just about how many followers you have, or how well you can be a keyboard warrior, or how you can virtue signal online. Listen, it's about building strength, physicality, spirituality. It's really about becoming the man your family can rely on when the world collapses around them. It's a man that walks into a room and owns it without saying a word.
That was just 30 seconds of buzzword after buzzword to create a meaningless video. We don't need more soft, agreeable, virtue signaling men. Dude, you virtue signal for a living. That's what these videos are. They are literally the definition of virtue signaling. You are just trying to tell everybody how good of a man you are and how correct you are on everything all the time when it comes to anything involving...
Sounds like a bunch of insecurity.
masculinity or what it means to be a man or a father or a husband. Also, the idea that what our world needs to become better is just a bunch of dangerous confrontational men is kind of crazy, dude. Seriously, what's the like alpha male obsession with the word dangerous?
Men are getting softer because more men are staying home and being the mom. No wonder we're getting that softness. When men stay home and they take the role of the mother, their testosterone level goes way down. The reality is that we need stronger men in our society, more masculine men that are going to be strong leaders, strong fathers.
Yo, some middle school boys gonna hear us and like be preaching this in the locker room during gym class.
Strong husbands. Yes, we need these men, but they cannot be the nurturers at home. Women need to step up to their rightful place as the nurturers and the peacemakers at home. The women should be the ones raising your children. If we change that, if we make that dynamic shift, you're going to start seeing masculinity skyrocket in our society.
Okay, so just to make a point, I'm going to indulge in the nonsense that these guys are always spewing about how men are getting softer, it's ruining society. The idea that dudes like this, these alpha male TikTokers and influencers, somehow have convinced themselves that they aren't part of that problem is fucking hilarious to me. Brother, you make TikTok videos for a living. You think you're hard? You really think that if we're facing this like soft man epidemic that you wouldn't be grouped in there? Dude, we make videos for a living. You basically spend your days gossiping about other dudes and complaining about men. We basically have the same fucking job, and I'll tell you, it's not a hard one. So it's just laughable to me that these guys sit there making TikTok content all day and then turn around and say men taking care of their children all day long are just pussies. They should be doing real hard work like uploading to TikTok 4 times a day. It's like, shut the fuck up. A single stay-at-home parent is providing 10 times the value to the world that 100 fucking alpha male TikTokers ever could. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I said, I can't take dudes like this seriously. And it's even harder to take them seriously not knowing like how they take themselves seriously. Like, part of me really wants to think that this is a joke and they're aware of how it looks, they're aware of what they're doing, but they're just playing.
It would be hilarious if they're dead-ass serious
into it because it makes them money. Because like, surely nobody really believes this shit. Surely nobody operates day to day like this. It just seems unbelievable. However, I say that, and like I said, this kind of shit ran the internet for like 2 years, so I guess people really do buy into it. But like, surely at this point you've got to realize that that time has kind of passed. Like, if you didn't cash in on doing this in like 2021, 2022, it's time to cut your losses. So that'll probably be viewed as too weak though, so I'm sure these guys will stick around for far longer than anybody wants them to. Yippee. See ya.
Alpha males, like, they're hilarious. I'm sorry. They're like some of the funniest people on the planet, like, unironically. Regardless of they're joking or not, they're hilarious. Like, saying shit like,
how are you as a man gonna take a shit? How are you as a man gonna take a piss in public? How are you as a man gonna pull a double P? Poops in public. How are you gonna do that? How the hell are you gonna do that?